What's up today, guys? Today I'll work on the old mullet mobile, the 75 El Camino. So I bought this El Camino. Oh, well, I did some horse trading with a good friend. I got a good deal on it. About last year, I think it was in August or September. Did the fuel pump video on it. Drove it here, which is less than 30 miles, and ran into some issues with it. First, I found out the taillights didn't work, which is not a big deal. Not a big deal. It's a little bit of a dog trying to get it out of the field where it was. We think that the bands might be sticking or the filter's clogged, so that's one thing we're going to take care of in this video. The second thing is when I got home, this wheel was smoking like I was doing a burnout. It is not front wheel drive. So I went ahead and bought some parts for it. So what I don't actually remember what I bought, because I bought all the parts last year. Parked the El Camino in one spot with the hood open. Actually, the hood was shut. Had some pack rats get in it. So then I had to relocate the pack rats. And then I moved the El Camino this fall, and we drug it up here. So those are kind of some things we got to work on. Let's take a look at, and I'll go through it as we talk about the El Camino. So the hood's pretty low. I just smacked myself in the head with the latch. 2-barrel 350. It actually started, once it started up, it ran amazing. Beautiful. So I'm not too worried about that. I bought a new fuel line to replace the line that we replaced in the fuel video, or the fuel pump video. The fuel line that's on here is off my 79 El Camino when I had it. Which did its job, but it leaks. It leaks pretty bad. What else do we got? So it must leak a little water in here, and mice have gotten in here again. There's a dead one over there. But I went ahead, I didn't realize the bearing, it's got a race in it. So I went ahead and bought a new rotor, and I got a new caliper. Like I said, must get water in there. This actually looks like it's not open. Good, there's only one clip in there. There's supposed to be two. Oh well. Got all new hardware for that. That clip. I'm gonna have to clean the cruck out, as we will call it, the cruck. This will be tomorrow's project. Got battery cables. We got brake lines. What else did I buy? Dust caps, bearings. I think I only bought one set of bearings. We got brake pads and something in this mystery box. So the battery cables, excuse me, the battery cables in here are a little, they need replaced. But what else did we get? We got brake fluid, so we should be good. I don't have anybody to help me bleed this weekend, so we'll just have to try our best. Blackberries got into it. I have the window down overnight, just kind of air it out. But we're going to try to get it situated to where we can get it on the road again, at least somewhat safely. So that's going to be tomorrow's project. So I'm kind of at a point where I need to realign my projects. I have a lot. If you know me in person, you know that I have a lot. You may have already contributed to being part of my problem as well. But nonetheless, I'm probably going to try to get a couple videos out of this. And by the end of the weekend, I hope to have this on the road and running. I mean, it runs. It did. It did prior to the big pack rat nest under the hood. And I haven't started it since because, well, I do need to do the battery cables and need to do some other stuff to make it drivable, at least usable. So need to do that. I'm not going to talk too much more, hopefully not. But this may become one of those projects where once we get it running, I kind of start liking it, so I keep it for a while. But ultimately, I need to realign and figure out my plans are for the future. And I'm not going to, if you know me in person, I've probably talked about what my plans are, but you guys will figure that out through the grapevine here, or my videos that precede this, or not precede, but come after this. So yeah, it's a little warm right now. It's in the late 80s, so, and I'm in direct sunlight. So I think tomorrow morning I'll get up and we'll come out and we'll start on it. It shouldn't be too bad as long as everything comes loose pretty easy. Should be able to knock this out. We got wasps here. Maybe they'll take a nap here soon. But I kind of dedicated this weekend to taking care of this, and I think in a couple weeks I'll have to do the same thing to the van, because I've been kind of dragging my feet on that, on actually both of those. So, and I don't actually know what else is wrong with this. It's kind of like, those are the major things. Obviously that tire has a huge dry rot crack in there, so I'm gonna have to figure out something. Not a fan of these 90s wheels. Some people are, and to each their own. I thought about polishing them up, but if I keep them, I'm gonna have to find some 15-inch tires. And right now we're in that whole as a war with Iran, the Strait of Hormuz, or whatever it is. So tire prices have actually gone up, because I was looking at tires for the Chevy 2, and they went from about $70 to $90, which kind of stinks, because I used to be able to fit a new set of tires on that car for fairly reasonable. Much like the tires that I run on the Volkswagen are no longer available. So that's fine. It'll all be okay. Right? Yeah. Anyways, enough jabbering. We'll hit this in the morning when it's cooled down. I did sweep, but cedar trees have decided to lay it all back down. It will be fun working on a full frame car, because I'm used to working on unibodies, so being able to jack it up anywhere and put jack stand under should be a little bit of a treat. So I went ahead and loosened the wheel yesterday, because I was going to start working on it yesterday, but it is now the next day, and kind of tired of waiting on it, working on this. It's been saying it's supposed to rain. Just blast your ears with that. It's been saying it's supposed to rain for a bit now, but it hasn't started. So I figured, let's get started so it does start raining. Kind of just, I was hoping to do this in one weekend, but I don't think I'm gonna. Yeah, I like parking here. This is my favorite parking spot. I'm not sure how good of a jack point that's gonna be. We'll see here. We'll set it down, see what it does. You always gotta. That's not moving, so that's pretty good. It's starting to spit. I can feel it. Either that or the bugs are spitting at me. So this is not 3/4. Like 7/8. There we go. Just bring the speed demon out. I was kind of half expecting these to be stuck on, but they were not. Chrome's coming off. Those regular lug nuts. Chrome is, here's some chrome for you guys. All right, let's pull this wheel off. Actually, I'm gonna pull it off. Wheel's good. That's a surprise. Figured that would be stuck on too. It's aluminum. All right, throw this in the bed. Lug nuts. All right, now comes the fun. I guess this isn't a German car, so I can't speak German while doing it. That wire is toast. I'm not sure what this goes to. That goes to oil pressure. All right, this wire is no bueno. I don't know what that goes to. But the red wire tagged to a blue wire or a black wire. There's another pressure switch connection there, I do believe. All right, well, okay. That's probably gonna cause us some issues. That line is rusty with a big capital R. So let me go get some Croil real quick. I'll squirt that, have some ambiance and some mood sniffing out here of the Croil while we work on getting this out. This is, it was discolored. It was black. It had gotten hot. And we'll see here. Yeah, it's pretty tight. So, like I said, I got a new line for it, so I'm not super worried about that. I'm more worried about getting the line off up here, but I don't want to do that right now because I need to replace all this first. So we'll get some Croil. Okay, so I got my brass brush. I'm going to go ahead, and that line is really rusty. Brake clean would probably do some of this some good too. I don't worry about that. Psst, 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 psst. That's the noise it makes. I got this nice industrial sized can. Alright, now I get to smell that. Some people love the smell, some people don't. Alright, go either way some days. Oh, you know what I forgot? My actual Allen wrenches. Alright, let me go get those. I'm not sure if it's 3/8 or not. I think it is. I could be wrong. Yeah, it's 3/8. I was gonna say it shouldn't be metric. It's too new. Too old. Alright. So let me get going. Alright, so I don't know if that's too close. There's 2 bolts we need to take off here. Your brake line, your rubber brake line starts here, comes up. There's 1 bolt for that. And then your bleeder is right here. Actually, that surprisingly still has the cap. A lot of times those are gone, especially, so I'm guessing my buddy that is stuck on there. All right, great. Shine my cheater. Okay. You're not really supposed to beat on a ratchet. It's not good for them in any sense. That thing's got some trash in it. So I'll take a screwdriver and do all that fancy ASMR where people tap on stuff. I'll just smack the camera with the screwdriver. Can't really blow it out on the backside. Alright. Come on. I do not want to strip these out. So the new caliper I bought comes with new hardware, so we'll go with that, obviously. Should be it. Overthinking it. I'm thinking of my Volkswagen. The Volkswagen has 2 bolts and then sliders, so let's see if we get this one broke loose. I'm going to try to watch the hammer handle in here. That was in 3D, I hope, for you guys. There we go. I thought I was worried I was stripping it out, but while I got it smacked in there, I'm going to go ahead and take this one out. And then I'm just going to put this up here on the control arm. Let me just punch the camera a bunch here. I'm going to move it. I'm not sure how much you guys can see on all this. I bought a Wasabi power battery for this GoPro. I believe this is my GoPro 8. Ooh, wrong way on the ratchet. I bought 3 GoPros so far, and it's getting harder to find batteries for the older ones. But this company, Wasabi, had it's a whole external mount, so it adds a battery, so I could charge the battery while I'm doing stuff, basically to have double the battery capacity, but it covers the whole backside, so I can only see the little front screen, which tells me if I'm in video or picture, and how long it's been recording for, and yeah, that's about it. All right, I may need to get a pry bar for this. Oop. Scrap bin, so I'm not super worried about it. Like I said, this thing was smoking hot, so I don't want to take a chance. I just went ahead and bought a whole new hub for it. A lot of this stuff will get scrapped. All right, so we got that off. I'm gonna put my 7/16 on there. That's what I'm pretty sure it is. So, and then I'm going to work on. Gotta remember which way to go. Should be down. Put this on. I'm just gonna give it a little love tap. See if it'll. It's starting to round off. Sometimes you can break the rust by going forward. I may actually have to heat that to get that loose. So that may be a tomorrow project. I have a 74 Nova hatchback, and I replaced the rubber lines, and I couldn't get one off one time, and I heated it, but there must have been water in the line because it exploded on me, and it was kind of weird. Never had that happen before. Never have had it happen since. Went ahead and bought new dust caps for this as well, I should say. Come on. Let's see. I think it's not all the way seated, so it should. My goal today is to at least get this replaced, and then we can deal with another project another night. Not necessarily what I had planned, but this dust cap is kind of wonky. There we go. Huh. It's got some grease in it. Let's move the camera and I'll get some gloves. Alright, so I was hoping to do at least this video this week, but what is going on? Let's do this. Let's do this here. It's recording, right? Yep. Usually I just blast this with a little bit of a brake clean, but I probably should. But I'm not planning to keep. The only thing I'm keeping out here is I'll get a new cotter pin. I'm probably going to cut this one right here. Get that off. Got new dust caps. I keep. So if some people are. I'm not a hoarder, but I do keep a lot of the stuff that I take off because it's good reference. And then at some point, when I sell the vehicle, I usually get rid of it at that point in time, which isn't always true because I keep a lot of stuff in tote boxes, and then it's labeled, so I at least know what I have and where. I may not have what I need. I have a bunch of stuff from my 79 Elk still. And that's about the only vehicle I've ever had sold. I got CB 750 parts too. I don't really need those, but a lot of those Honda parts transfer. Looks like both sides of that pin broke. So, we'll pull this out if we can. I like to stick this in here. I'll do it from this side so you can see. I like to stick this in here, especially when you're going to put a new one in. Hold it tight. Watch your fingers, you can tap it out. There's many ways to skin a cat. And it's my new favorite adjustable wrench. Actually, not new, I've had it for a while. In Klein & Sons, I have no idea where I got it. I probably got it at auction, or my grandfather gave it. Those are a little loose, so that shouldn't be the problem. My grandfather gave it to me. Bunged that up. I could feel the threads cutting back through. Okay, so the only thing I'm really going to keep out of here is that nut and this washer. And you need to keep those. I'll put those on this new rag. I'll rip another rag and we'll put that right here. If it starts to rain, we'll throw that under the floorboard. Go ahead and throw this over here in my pile of junk. Not necessarily junk, but it's gonna get scrapped. Okay. Cleanliness and organization is key. Like I said, I'll keep all this stuff, but we're just gonna go ahead and put new. There we go. We'll get this bearing out real quick. Doesn't look bad. The grease is starting to look a little waxy. I think like the petroleum part of it's probably left, which I mean it got hot, so all right, look at this. Same. Okay, normally these don't come apart that easy. These don't look bad. You can see it is dry. That could be part of it. Should be a grease seal. There's no grease seal. Oh, it's right here, ain't it? Alright, we need to get this cleaned up. That's weird. There's no grease seal. Should have been a grease seal here. So it's either right here, which that doesn't look like a grease seal. I'm gonna have to get some gas and kind of clean this all up. I think they've had issues because I could see a hammer's really rocked this. Just down some armchair diagnostics here, I guess. That race, it doesn't look great. Neither of them look bad. They're used. So yeah, I don't see. That's might be part of my problem. Talking to my buddy. You can see it's worn in up here. All right, well, it is what it is. We will clean this up a little bit here. Things happen. Nothing looks bad. Nothing looks really chewed up. So I mean, I ain't scared. But it's kind of weird. There ain't no grease seal there. Maybe there's not supposed to be one. That's what this is. It's been a while since I've done a, should say, it's been quite a while. Is it that? Oh, that's not it. It's been a long time since I've done a front disc brake. Front disc. It's been a while since I've done a front disc wheel bearing. Mostly I do that over that 66 or the K10. Alright, so we got the old one off. Let's you can see that thing. I guess you guys can't probably see it too well. This thing got hot. It's black. It's black as black can be. Not really. I mean, it just looks like it's blued. But alright, so let's toss this bearing back over here. And I'll find somewhere to stash this because this is one piece. This is not a hub and a drum. This is all one piece. So that's kind of wild. GM, what did you do? It's a good way to check junk tires though. Wheels, see what size they are. All right, so let's get the new bearing out. I'll swap gloves. I'll go put this somewhere in the scrap pile. And then actually, I'll leave it here so we can double check the new one. And I'll get some new gloves so I don't get them all greasy. Alright, so digging through my stuff, I realized I'd gotten enough parts to do wheel bearings on both sides. Usually when I buy a vehicle, I go ahead and do wheel bearings, rubber brake lines, front and rear, pads, shoes, and wheel cylinders. And that's, I have wheel cylinders for the rear. I have pads for the front because I knew this side was cooked. Because it did cook, it was smoking. It had smoke rolling off of it. So I just figured new ones just be done. Like I said, I don't know how long I'm going to keep this. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm a Timken man. If I can buy Timken, I will. AC Delco will work in a pinch. That's the front. Get rid of some of this trash here. And then I'm pretty sure these are the right ones. I buy cotter pins in bulk. I used to buy the little containers that have the multi-things, but I tell you what, after a while, yeah, that's the right size. After a while, you get a little tired of it, because they're kind of cheaper. They're from China. This, I'm not even sure where this is made in. I bought it from McMaster Car. If you know them, you'll know that. So I just bulk buy it because all GMs use these. Not four-wheel drives, obviously. They have a whole different system, but yeah. All right, here's our grease seal. It should fit right here, right? Yeah. Okay. Which means it should fit something like that. Yep. All right. Well, unless it fits right there. Maybe I'm looking right at it. It looks like it goes like that, though. I'm gonna have to do some research here because something seems a hair off. A hair off. And I think this is my grease seal right here on the back of this. It's been so long since I've done a wheel bearing on disc brake that isn't modern like the Volkswagen. So I'm gonna have to go do some research on that. But we can do the rest of this real quick. It's out of the bag. I'll just work on it in the bag. Now, I'm no expert, so I'm gonna have to clean this. There's oil on this, so I'm gonna have to shoot this with brake clean once it's up here. I should have got another paper towel. Shoot. All right, so I don't know the quality of the races that are in here, or the other side. So I'm gonna go ahead and drive them out because these sets come with the correct one, and it is not a machine set, but I'd rather just do that set instead of these. So if you've never done this before, it's a fairly easy job. You should probably wear safety glasses doing this. Just should probably go get a set. You take a brass drift. Don't use the metal one because it'll gouge. You're gonna need the brass to put it in and take them out. So you just kind of, let's see if I can raise the camera. All right, hopefully you can see what I'm doing because again, I can't see because I have this external battery pack on because my batteries are so not great anymore. I can't really get any more, except from Wasabi Power. So this kind of a review of them. And I got a fan on because it's very humid and I'm getting to get fatter as I get older, I guess. All right, so anyways, to do these, brass drift works the best, not steel because it'll gouge. You don't want to gouge the bearing material with steel or scratch it because then it's just gonna cause issues. It's gonna wear really weird. So hopefully you can see it kind of somewhat above. I just work them from side to side. Sometimes you got to get it on one side. At some point, I'm going to get to where it's at the end. You'll shave off. You can see I'm shaving off brass pieces. I need this to pop out of the bore a little bit more. So I'm just going to that's it. Kind of drives out by itself. All right, that's scrap pile. I'll flip it over. This one's a little bit harder to do because you barely see the lip, and it'll wear this down, so you have to kind of grind it, cut it flush, or put it in a lathe if you're lucky to have one. I like to, when I'm driving them out, this way is the easiest way, is just kind of wedge it around. Make sure you get good solid hits, and there we go. All right, it kind of tore it up a little bit. I buy them at the swap meet. They're pretty cheap. Well, like 10-15 bucks. So I just spend some time buying them every now and then. All right, what brand are these? These are, no name brand. You can buy bearings without them, but to be honest, it's a lot easier just to buy a set. So let me get some brake clean because I forgot to do that as well. All right, so I went ahead, sprayed it out brake clean. So got that chilling over here with me. There was a lot of like anti-rusting stuff on there. Let me get these, get going here so I can get these safety glasses off. Mosquitoes are coming back again. Go ahead and put this bearing in. Getting darker out here. All right, this is a Timken. So the rear faces like this because it's going to be sitting like this on the vehicle. So we'll go ahead and start this. It's a lot easier to, gotta get it squared up. And they have tools for this. So sometimes you'll fight this. Alright, so I can feel this side's the high side here now. Dog was taken off. You don't want to get it crooked in there. Ow. Sometimes it works better to have a socket to do some of this stuff. I'll probably just fast forward through this. Whoa, what's that? Well, so what happened here was, as I was hyping it up, that battery pack, it got the GoPro super hot. And if you own a GoPro, you know what happens when they get super hot. They turn off. So let's go and look at what I've done. I haven't missed much. not only, I didn't realize it had gotten hot until I was trying to move everything in because it started raining. So let's go take a look at how far. So I didn't get very far. Really, all I had done was got the bearing in, the race, I should say. And we'll do this again, but I'll probably I'll do it on this side. What I started over here was I just basically said it goes, you try to feel under it. You can kind of feel a lip when it's not down. And when you do get it down all the way, it does make a different noise because it's now resonating against this. That's probably grease. I'm not going to touch that. I got the whole crew in here now to help me, so that's pretty nice. Just trying to climb on my back. All right, enough of that. So let's flip it over. We'll do the front side. I've got my safety squints here, so that way we don't get any brass in my eye, because that'd be pretty cool. Like gold teeth, but jewelry for your eyes. You have to go get it out. I've had that. I've had metal chips in my eyes, so that's pretty fun when they buff your eyeball to get the rust out. All right, so this all's wet. That's stellar. The bearings weren't. I saved the bearings in time, but all right. So one thing I did mention is when you do get it down past this lip here, it's kind of hard to get onto it, and this is what ends up tearing them up because you're fighting that machined edge, and it's just kind of like a knife cutting into it. There is grease. I see it. So let's flip this thing over. Put this side in. I have to spray it all down to brake clean anyways. I need to get a paper towel to wipe that. The bearing sits. Hopefully I don't scare the dog. All right, girl. She's a little skittish. That's okay. I want to make sure this area on this is nice and clean. Free of debris, as they say. I'll have to squirt a bunch of brake clean in here, get it all flushed out. And then we'll see if we can get the camera set up like I did previously. Kind of get it. Okay, there we go. Seems to be slightly tighter than the other. There we go. It only goes a little at a time, so. I think it's seated, but I'm going to get a different drift, one that's a little bit fresher. I'll take that. I'll take this one to work. Use the lathe at work. pretty sure it's seated. I'll just rotate it till I get a good bite. Let's get the other one. I have one more. Alright, this one's tapered, so I should be able to. That's definitely seated. Alright, I'll take these to work tomorrow. I'll get those trimmed up. Alright, so now I need to spray this all down with brake clean, get the brass material out, and we need to pack the bearings. But I'm going to wait to do all that until I can get it on there. I still got to figure out what I'm doing about that. So let's regroup here a bit. Alright, so ring's done. Shut this with brake clean. Let me clean this up with my hands. I tried doing some research and I could not find videos of how these seals go in. And to be honest, I don't think that's a seal right there. Kind of looks like a seal, but again, it doesn't. I'm not sure how that would go in there. I should probably have done some more research before starting the video. I'm pretty sure that plate just bolts to this. So I went ahead and I actually bought another one of these for my Nova, my 78. This is not gonna help my brakes. So I'm going to put it in the way I think it should go in. I just lost all my sockets. How I do the rear drum brakes and square bodies. Whereas I'm just going to put it in here, and hopefully that's the right way. We'll find out here shortly, I believe. Make sure my gloves are somewhat clean. I got a bunch of paper towels. So in my research, I found some videos, just watching them, how other people were doing them. Most of them are, you know, the good generation of Chevelles, the 68 through 72. Don't tell my dad I said that. He has a 66. I like his. I like anything before 73. It's a good generation of Chevelle. It keeps sprinkling again. It's a minivan. All right, so I just watched some guys pack some bearings and they just wiped them on the outside. That's not how you do it. That's how you know someone's a hack. Not that I'm any better, but if you want to pack a bearing, you got to pack it in the palm of your hand or get a bearing packer. There's little I have one. I should use it. It would save me a lot of headache here. And you just kind of work it in here. What you're trying to do is force the grease between the rollers. My dad, whether he was right or wrong, always told me not to spin a bearing before you grease it, because it'll wear. But to be honest, coming from the machining world, they are pre-greased. Not pre-greased, I should say, but they are pre-lubed, because you got a fly on me. Those they're gonna rock around and roll at the factory and in shipping, and you wouldn't want something to, oh brother, become destroyed in shipping. So I'm 99% sure that you're good to go if you do that. So, but as you can hopefully see, I am packing it in and it is coming up through If you get grease on this side, you have to be very careful, because if you get grease in here ahead of time, if you just wipe it on there and then do that, the air will push it up and make it look like it's been packed. But if you put plenty of grease in here, you should be okay. And I'm going to go ahead and put a little in here because it doesn't hurt. And then when I go to put the front on, I'll go ahead and put some grease in on the front, because that'll be easier. Should be easier to finger it up in here. All right, so I'm going to wipe my hands off the best I can. Oh, sound effects day. Hopefully they are helping or hindering. One of the two. I got some, I'll give you the smell-o-vision here. I got a little bit of grease I smell. I'm using some Lucas Red and Tacky. I got the smell of the Croyle still. And got a little brake clean, because there's a little puddle in there. And that's, if you're wondering what that is. Now this should go in here like this. It's the only way it can go. It can't go like that. So let's go ahead and tap that seal in. Usually they sit like, usually they sit like this. That's what makes me wonder. Is that the same? No, that can't be it, because this has to ride on that. It looks like a seal up in there. That's what's got me confused. No, it isn't. It isn't. It looks different. So we'll just tap this in here. So someone didn't put a seal in there. They have drivers for this. If you're careful, you can just put it in like that. And voila, it's in. All right, so let me flip her over, dump out that wheel. Okay, that's brake clean. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just get some of this, shove it in here. I'm kind of not pre-packing it, but we are giving a little extra. That way, as it spins, it'll have some extra in here. It doesn't need a ton. It's all going to push back to the Ford, so it'll all squeeze out whatever isn't used. And then I'm just going to put the rest of it in my hand here. And then we'll just be, see, like right there, that's where I'm going to start, right where I've got that. Hopefully this video is still going. I can't really see if it is or isn't. Yeah, it is. So, I got dog hair. Don't want that in there. That's how you build speed. Dog hair and cat hair. Alright. These lower bearings are kind of it's fun to pack. Basically, I just kind of work the pile. Just kind of trying to push it in. Like I said, they have little KD tool. Has a little tool for this. If you're fancy, just don't forget where you're at. It does it all in one. You just like kind of pack it, kind of like a, I don't know how to put, like a plunger kind of deal. It pushes all the grease into it. In one go. Okay, so now I'm going to take the rest of this grease, finger that all up, plop that bad boy in there, and I'm going to try not to be wasteful with this stuff because it's a little expensive. So I just try to clean it off. You can use whatever grease you want. I don't know. I kind of fallen for the Lucas fanboy party, I guess. Whether that's good or bad. We're in the next step. I should probably quit chatting you up here about other stuff. And I kind of got my hands as clean as I can. I don't want to grab this, although I am going to clean it with brake clean. I don't want to grab it and put more grease on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just switch gloves real quick. I'll get those gloves, I'll get those gloves greasy here in 2 seconds, but I just don't want to get any more onto the disc than I already have, because you just have to clean it. So trying to make life a little easier for me. Okay, here we go. And then, oh fudge, you just kind of slip this all in, and then like that, and then it's on. And as you see, it kind of pushed a bunch forward. I just go ahead and wipe it off in there. I'll get another paper. I'll just use the grease towel. My greasy paper towel. It won't matter if it's up here. It's not going to get on the brakes as long as you're careful. All right, so we got that on. Oh man, I got grease all over my sleeve. I put everything into a little container here so I can carry it in and out quickly if I have to. It shouldn't rain. And usually, if I'm repacking old ones like you're going to see here in a little bit, I'll clean them with some gas or mineral spirits or just something. All right. So foolishly, I put that on and was talking that whole time, and you didn't even get to enjoy the experience of seeing what I was doing. So I still have to pack the other side, so I'll put this in at the other side of the video. The actual repacking, you're going to get both replacing a whole one and then just replacing bearings. So going with this, I need to slip this guy. There's a slot right there. You can kind of see I cut it out with that, cut that grease out. That needs to go like that because that's the only way it's going to go. And then we're going to clean, this is a castle nut. We're going to clean the castle nut somewhat, make it look a little bit prettier. I'm about ready to find out if I did a good job or not. Make sure there's no rocks on it, no sand. We're just going to put this on. If it's not a Mopar, so you don't have to worry about which way it threads on. Get that. Sweet. I'm worried that I did something wrong, but I don't think I did. Okay, so there's a trick with this. You want it to kind of free spin, and if you go too tight, it gets too tight. So I'm going to back it off. If it's too tight, it'll, like that's probably too loose. Let's figure out where our cotter pin hole's in, and that's kind of how we'll gauge it. You don't want it too tight and you don't want it too loose. And if you've never done this before, you're probably sitting there going, well, then what do you mean? So usually when you snug up these bearings, you can feel them, you can feel it, if you got the wheel on especially, you got a lot of momentum and you can kind of feel it just kind of slow down, but then you back it up and it spins a little longer. That's in there good too. Another good thing to check and make sure everything's right is make sure it chunk 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 doesn't clunk like that. I know there's a cotter pin hole there. I should have poked those out before I started. But there was another one on the side. And there's one there. Alright, so we need to aim for one of those two holes. It'd be a little too loose. That might just be it right there. You can always snug it up if you think it's not good enough, but we're going to go with that one. Now, let's clean this. Put it this way. I want to push that down in there. I don't think these are the right ones. These may be for like my Honda or something. I might have grabbed the wrong ones. They'll work. They just seem a little longer. Doggone it. Some people, there's many ways to fold these. some people are going to tell you one way, some people are going to tell you other. Really, ultimately, it just matters that it's folded so it doesn't pop out. Get this brand new dust cap for this hot rod. And with dust caps, get my hammer to set there. You don't want to beat on it with a hammer. You want to use something soft. Much like the brass punch thing. Because if you hit it with a hammer, it's going to scratch the chrome. Something steel, I should mean. So like, you know, a screwdriver handle, or just something. You could probably, it's also going to deform. I got it in there kind of cockeyed, so. Like that. Okay. Is it pressing against something? Nope. It was just cockeyed. Just me not getting it quite right. I'm going to do what I told you not to do. And let's get a dead blow. I don't know about these brand new cap covers. I did dent it because I did what I told you not to. But sometimes I take a screwdriver and you can kind of tap the edge that's kind of hanging you up. I'm trying to get it to go in. I don't know. It's almost like it's hanging up on something and it's wanting to rock it out. So let me grab the old one, which is right here. It's packed full of grease. And I could see that the spindle was hitting it. I'll try to get this grease out. I guess, yeah, I don't want to use this one. It's got a higher arch, but I don't want to use it. There we go. Look at that. Just have to, I don't know, just have to act like you're going to use the old stuff, I guess. So anyways, there we go. Got this situated. I kind of imposed like a 20-minute time frame on me, so I really just wanted to get this on, but while we're here, I may get the torch out and heat this up, or see if we can kind of work this loose a little bit tonight. I probably won't show that on video, just because I'm trying to work along here fairly quickly. Get a tote box to put all this stuff in. Like I said, I keep a lot of old parts in tote boxes, what it's labeled from where it comes from, so when I die, someone will be able to go, oh, well, these are all junk parts and some new parts off of a 1921 Pupmobile. Nah, I don't have one of those, but a guy can dream. So I'm going to put everything back in here. Probably we'll work on these brakes a little bit tonight, and then I'll focus on, I'll have to do the same thing to the other side. So I kind of want to get this side done, changed, and then we'll worry about doing the other side, which shouldn't take as long. Shouldn't. But we all know how cars go. Maybe you don't. And I'll tell you, a 10-minute job could turn into an 8-hour job. So I'm going to work on this for a hair, and then we'll come back tomorrow. You'll get to see tomorrow, unless something cool happens or bad happens. You never know. I may catch myself on fire. And like I was telling you earlier, you can't get those things too hot, because it literally just blew the hose off. I've done that once before, and yeah, so I did it again. There is a line of being too warm. I think last time I did this on the Nova, it came off pretty easy. But my goal was to try to just get it hot up here and not the material that I'm doing, That way it would expand and hopefully break the rust. I have enough room. If I have to flare it, I can manipulate the line, but I don't know how good this line back here is going to be. Actually, that's not hot. I'm going to lose all my brake fluid. I'm just going to go ahead and pull this caliper out of the way and throw it in the bed of the truck. Get a tub real quick. All right, let's see if we can get these to break loose. Maybe we got it. Either I rounded the edge off or it came loose. It came loose, but I don't think it's still stuck on that line. What I mean by that, it's wanting to twist the line. So I have to squirt some PB Blaster up behind, actually, brake clean behind it. That'll clean it out, hopefully. I'm gonna get a stainless steel brush. We're in some tight quarters here, so I may end up hitting the camera. Like I said, I got it broke loose. My goal is with a stainless steel brush and try to get it loosened up. Brushes are a good way to flick stuff into your eyes if you've never done that before. So I'm trying to stay out of the limelight there. I just need a little bit of a clearance behind it. Shoot a little coil up in there. Let's brake clean first. I don't have hardly any in here left. Let's get a new can. That hopefully will flush a lot of it out. If there's any, and then we'll hit it with my. Okay. Hopefully our combo here. Make sure it's still recording. Kind of makes it so we can feels like it's gonna rip this edge off. I don't really want to have to flare a new one. Let's see if we can save it by taking this clip out and just spinning it all. Sometimes that'll do it. Okay, so the clip just fell apart. So I hit this with a hammer. Softened everything up a little here. Let's see if this will, wrong size. See if we can get everything to turn with this. Nope, this is keyed in there. It is loose. Can we get away with just pushing this? Probably not going to let me push this through. You might have to get a crow's foot and do this. Trying to watch the line to make sure it's not twisting with it. It kind of looks like it is. Yeah, you can see the line is twisting with it, which isn't good. So, can I push this through and twist that off? to. Someone else is spinning around too. Minivan. All right, so now comes the fun of trying to get this to come loose on here. It's probably rusted on pretty good. Unless we do the really cheap thing and push this line through, twist the old one on, get it snug, push it, and then push it through. I don't really want to do that, so let's, because that's not a good ethical way of doing this. I don't have any paper towels to clean anything, so all right, let me go get a can of brake clean and some paper towels. Okay, sorry about the fan noise, but I put a lot of brake clean in here and I'm about not really ready to go into outer space yet, but I may just end up letting this sit overnight. That thing is definitely corroded up in here. I'm trying to be a good mechanic and not just screw someone else over. Which has its ups and its downs, because I really could just push this through, tighten it, and then shove it back in. Worst case scenario, that is what's going to happen. I may put some heat on this. I'll probably could just put a little heat on it. Try that real quick. I still have the torch, so it's not like it can explode again. Just catch fire. Alright, it's going past my 20 minutes, but YOLO. Turn the gas on. Still mildly warm, but I mean, I got it loose. I don't think I can get it pushed back. There we go. Oh, it's a little warm. There we go. Just got to get that rust that's built up in there kind of situated. I don't know what just slid. It sounded like something slid off here. Okay, there we go. I don't like the... There's not much I can do about it, but I don't like the... One brake line saved at a time. Boy, this video is going to be a lot longer than we all had planned. And that's how you save an old fitting and brake line. Now that I've bent it all out of the way. Alright. Alright, so we'll just let this brake line cool down. It's cool, but we'll let this all drain out overnight, so I'm going to have to bleed the brakes. I got to do it anyways, so I guess I'll deal with the transmission at a different point, but we'll get this brake done and probably start on the wheel bearings tomorrow on the other side, and the other brakes probably ought to grease this side before I get this all wrapped up, but at this point I'll just do the replacing the rotor and wheel bearing, because there's a lot of videos out there that don't show this stuff. And tonight I got 30% battery, so I'm just going to hit this with Croil. I hit it with some brake clean, but I hit it with the Croil so that way it doesn't get stuck tonight, because that would be a shame. The whole motor, it's going to stink like crazy because I hit the exhaust. So a few days later, I didn't really feel like working on it yesterday. This is kind of where we're at the moment. I'm going to go to the other side, and it's just going to be a video with some music, because you've already basically seen what's going on this side, but you'll get to see what's going on that side. You just won't hear my commentary, because that's just going to be its own independent video, so which is probably going to come out before this video. doing this other side, I noticed something down here. Something my generation doesn't know a lot about. I'm 99% sure that's it's a curb feeler on this side. Could be wrong. Someone may point out that it isn't. And if you know what that is, please let me know. Anyways, it's just going to hang out there for the time being. That bolt is loose. Not going to worry about that. I went ahead and put some coil on that while I was messing around with this side's wheel bearing. Because we're going to have to break that line loose here after a bit. I'm going to reuse this caliper. It'll either work or not. We'll find out. The rotor's rusty and tarnished, but it should work. This lug nut is not good. That's a bad lug nut there. That's really bad. I might try to run a dye over that, try to clean it up, but there ain't going to be much to clean up. So let's go ahead and try to break that line loose while I'm out here for a little bit more. Remember which way I need to go. I'm gonna go up. Up it goes. Okay. I'm hoping this works. Get my persuasion bar. Wow. Okay, so it's broke loose from that fitting. Well, we're not. I mean, we're gonna need the wire brush. It's brake clean, which I'm out of at the moment. So let's try to clean that the best we can. A little ways back. I'll get some brake clean real quick. I realized you probably couldn't see what I was talking about. You probably knew, but couldn't see. So I'm going to try to squirt some brake clean into the back of that fitting. Try to get it worked clean. We've cleaned a little ways back, so we'll just clean that off. I'm going to let that dry. I'll come back. Actually, it's not going to take long because it's 90 degrees. It's dry. All right, we're going to put a little coil back up in there, hopefully. That'll be some lubrication. And I'm just going to have to work that nut back and forth and hopefully not break this line. Squirt some more in there. See if we can flush out whatever's keeping us tied up. Don't have a lot of room to work. It may be easier to work on this from the top, but apparently I'm jacked up. I may put a little heat to this. Hopefully not have the same experience we had last time. Before I start, I'm going to put safety glasses on this time. Lock on. side. I blew that. Yeah, it stinks. Burnt oil. Yum. Hopefully that didn't just cause me issues with this line. That still moves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that clip and try to take it off on this side like we did on that other one, since it is broke loose. An easy way to get that clip out. It's not completely destroyed, or not. Wow, okay. There we go. And this clip is destroyed. It is completely rusted. So let's see. Loose off. There we go. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold the line while I off this side, because we do not want, it's gonna mess with that caliper. I want to twist this end off. Yeah, that caliper's probably gonna fall like so. I don't care about the line, so the rubber hose, I mean. What I do care about is trying to save this fitting. There we go. Up for us. Probably not. This may be one of those times where I just try to coil it overnight. Oh, I'm not going to wait overnight. I think I'm going to put the new line on. We'll put the new line on and then just put the caliper on and have to fit it that way. Well, so I always check it. It's about the right length. It's a hair shorter. It did not come with a new clip. It has this clip. So I'm just gonna line it up, and we'll just have to deal with that on the back side. I'll have to go get some. So we will just put it on the opposite way it came off. And we will hold this here. Back up. This is not really the proper way. I mean, it's a way. Okay, that is tight, because we need to just make sure that this line is not kinked any way. Oh, that's going to be our next issue. This is keyed. I think we were just slightly off. So, with any luck, we will be able to rotate it the right way. Which that is the flat. So that has a flat, but this one has the keyway on it for some reason. Let's see if we can rotate it enough. This is not be the way we thought it would. Pretty sure it's supposed to have a flat. Maybe that keyway is too big. Alright, new day. I got to thinking last night. I thought, oh, I might look into a new caliper. These are, I don't know if they're Remand or original GM. I don't know if I talked about that last night. But I got to work this morning and I was really thinking, and I thought, you know what? I hate to go to all this work to bleed the brakes just to find out that that caliper is stuck. Because I can't remember if it worked or not. And there's no way of really testing it now other than putting some air to it. So I went to O'Reilly's and got us a new one. So this is actually, it's not even the right one. Oh, it is the right one. It is not the right side though. It is. It's the same. Don't freak out. It is the same. Alright, so we got an anti-squealer, and this has been returned once from Oklahoma. He had an AC condenser. Interesting. Alright, anyways, there's a receipt in there for that. This is the correct one. It's close enough, I reckon. Maybe. Does not look the same. We'll see if it fits. We will see if it fits. So, put it on. It doesn't look the same. It's kind of disheartening. But we'll see what it looks like here. We'll put our pads in. I may have to take it back off, but at least we'll see if the pads fit and everything. And it's threaded in now, it's just pushed. If it fits, it ships. You know what I mean? Hopefully the other one looks correct. Spend a bunch of money on something that does not fit. The spacing is too close, so I'm gonna have to fortunately take this back. Which won't be tomorrow. Bummer. Looks like I'm gonna have to buy one off the Amazon or Rock Auto. So to kind of clear it up, this is the caliper you saw me take off. If I line this bolt hole up, there's obviously a pretty big difference in the size. So, did someone put the wrong part in here? I don't know. This also isn't quite the same, but there is no smaller option for me, and it doesn't make sense for me to try to drill that. So I'm actually going to have to track down what I need. Maybe I'll go with Napa. It was more expensive, but they could have it here probably Friday. So, all right. So I thought while I went ahead and just ordered one from AutoZone. It's supposed to be free shipping here tomorrow. So I thought, well, we'll work on the fuel line. So I've run into another little problem with the fuel line. Is the one I bought is the correct one. I don't think I can plug this into that somehow. because I'm pretty sure that's a nipple on there. So I will have to go find an adapter, which doesn't seem quite right. So I'm going to have to figure out how to make this hose work. That, or I'll put this one on and then we'll just cut this flare off, or push that nut back and put the hose there and clamp the hose. That's kind of hokey, but it may be a better situation. This may not be a today issue. I'm kind of already frustrated about this car. Already got a mouse nest starting back up in here, and I see some pretty fresh mouse poops in there. So we're gonna have a little bit of more work to do. Also, this car has a really long front end, much like a truck. Just kind of makes it hard to get back to where I need to. So I think I'm gonna wait till we're back onto the ground before I mess with this stuff. I am curious if the engine still turns over, because I don't think water would have got up through the air cleaner. All right, here we are, a week later. Took me a while to get some parts, and then life happened, and the Volkswagen alternator went out, and I had to work this last weekend. So needed some of these. These are Chinese ones off Amazon. So we will install this feller. Hopefully it's the right way. Hammer. It's almost a two-person job, it feels like, but we don't have that access at the moment. All right, waiting on the United States Postal Service to show up, so hopefully they do here shortly. I bought a torque wrench that I'm gonna need, not for this. Work. Well, shoot. So after some struggles here, I finally got this pushed in far enough that it would it'll go in. But not much leverage on this. The tools I need are not the ones I have. All right, let's try this. There we go. Got it in. All right. Onto the caliper. The troubles begin. So I went and grabbed a actual Craftsman 3/8, which does not fit very well in these, but will catch the corners. So I thought it is metric. So I went with an 8. 8 is too small, whereas 10 is too big. So it's like 9mm, which is a weird size, I reckon. So 5/16 is too small, because I thought my KD, these are KD tools, no, they're Lyle. My Lyle tools did not fit it. So I'm going to pull these pins out the best I can. We'll just have to reuse the old ones, which is not ideal. I'll have to push these bushings back in, but we will reuse the old ones. So here we are. I don't have an air compressor that works here. I have a 220. I only have 110 out here. So I'll chuck it up in the lathe, and I only have 15 amps of 110 out here, so I had to turn off all the lights and the fans I had on for the dog. And I'm going to have to find some emery cloth. Probably not be wearing rubber gloves for this, but it's going to get real loud. We'll see if this thing kicks on and runs the way I need it to. So here we go. It's probably going to scare the dog. I think I'm going to have to adjust my belt. No, there's a zip tie in here still. Whoops. Let me get that. So I ran a zip tie in here to help take some tension off of the, dang, this bike doesn't cut worth a darn. Take some tension off my belt for when I carry it without my rear pedestal. Nice dikes. I usually use them a lot, but dang, this is a tough Walmart zip tie. Let's get some knuckle ones. Incredibly hot in here on a 90-degree day with no fan. All right. Hopefully I got enough tension to run this. I forgot all about that zip tie. I haven't even leveled this out yet, so it feels like I got some tension, so we'll see how much it slips. That's going to take forever. I got 320. Fortunately, a couple of years ago, I bought a lifetime supply, at least for me, of 80 grit, 240, and fly just flew into my eye, and 240. Amazon had them on their Amazon Prime days, so probably lasts me a lifetime. That's 50 yards. I don't use this stuff a whole lot, so keep moving the camera around. I'm going to pop that staple out so I don't stab myself with it. We'll run these down real quick. Well-used 320. That looks better. Not ideal, but better. Let me get my chuck. First time I've used the lathe here at the new place. All right. I also don't have a generator. I have a generator, but That's going to be an upcoming video. Maybe it'll be already out by the time this comes out. We're going to take a look at a non-running generator and see what it takes to get it going. So I'm going to turn all this off and kick the fans back on so the dog has a little bit of cool breeze. Okay, so we know these pins work. And they didn't come out too bad. I'll put a little grease on them before we get too carried along here. The new ones have grease on them, so get some of them brake pads out. I got some Duralast Gold, top of the line. We ain't fooling here. Okay. All right. The rear goes through, and it's got the little. I don't remember how this goes, so I might have to go look at. I can't. All right, here you go. Let's see it. Yep. Saw my hand. Pretty sure this clips. This clips to the back of this, but that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. Let me go look at how the other ones are set. Okay, this is my fault on how to do these. They go like this. Oh no, that brake pad just fell apart. I just sat it in here. That's kind of crummy. Oh no. Alright. Anyways, so this goes here. There we go. And this goes in like that. There was a TV show before my time called In Like Flint. So I assume that's what everybody older than me. The other thing I was going to do, I was going to put a little caliper grease on these. I heard this thing give off a little psst, so I'm hoping it's not contagious. Alright, so we're going to put a little here, a little here, a little under here. It is really gooey right now because again, it's like 90 degrees out and this bad boy has been sitting out here for a while. Put a little grease on the back side here. I don't know whether we need it or not, but that's what I was taught. Welcome. Alright, so we got a little on those inside ears, a little on the top. Got a little on my hand. Okay, that's in. And now we'll put it on this one as well. This one doesn't move, but we'll put some in the hole. That hole, could just put it there too. I got some fancy stuff here. Put a little bit on top. It doesn't need it up here, bud. We'll put a little up there and a little on the. Had a pretty good day today, so I'm making little extra sound effects for you guys. Might get fired. Who knows? My boss is pretty nice. Alright, so now let's take a boy, it is warm. I'm not complaining about how warm it is. It's summertime, but boy, it is a little. There's no breeze. Okay, hand is clean, so I'm gonna just grab that bad boy. I'm gonna stick this hand here, and I'm gonna try to set it all on like this. Reposition the camera. Hopefully you guys can see that. Hopefully you don't see my ugly mug. And I need to come up here a little bit, like so. And that is it. That's it. That's all you need to do. Okay, I'm putting a little grease. I put too much grease on these pins. I'll put a little up here so they don't get stuck. Put the first one in. Since all my hopes and dreams are riding on this. It's always good to hand start stuff. It almost feels like it's bent, but I don't think it is. I think that's just me. It's always good to hand start stuff, not just hit it with the impact. I don't even have my impact out here right now, so don't get upset at me. All right. those, you know, people that drive down roads here. The lunacy of my talking and whatnot. I probably should have painted that, you know, but I tell you what, I probably won't. I didn't. I bought paint for it because I thought the other side was painted, but that was just that O'Reilly's one I'd bought. I won't ever probably get a ad sponsorship from them because I talked smack on them about giving me the wrong parts. I told the lady, I said, you know, it could be because there's another ticket in there, it's probably a return. And you know, things happen, things fall out of boxes, and you know, things, you know, I mean, it's bound to happen. Someone drops 2 of them or pulls 2 of them out to compare them, and then all of a sudden, whoops, I don't remember which one goes in which. I'm pretty sure it goes here, and then, you know, all of a sudden it ends up in the wrong box. So I don't blame her, and I told her, you know, it's not your guys' fault. Things happen. So let's go ahead and get this banjo bolt on. I don't know if you're gonna see it, or if you're probably just hearing me ramble. I don't think it goes that way. It's gotta go this way. Probably ought to go look at the old one before I crush these banjo washers. That's why. Well, I'm not sure if I'm gonna have problems here, but this hose is too freaking short. If I run it up the way it was supposed to be up here to the spindle, well, it's gonna be too short. But I think wow, this steering wheel is too stiff. I think I might have to leave it like that, so that way it doesn't. That ain't gonna work. I think I might have to get another cable, which sucks because it fought me to get that. Let me go see what the other cable length is. They're both like 3/4 of an inch too short. Because I think if I was to turn it, it would probably pop off. It's probably metric. Well, I'm missing some sockets here. There's one. 2. Let's see what size this is. It's that size. So I'm going to snug this up just to see if I get some bind. Oh no, it's not going in where I want it. There we go. That almost looks too tight. Let's turn the wheel and see what happens. Oh no, I don't have the keys on me. We'll find the keys and then we'll turn the wheel. I think that might be too tight. It's like I said, it's 3/4 of an inch too short, which is just ridiculous. I think I might have to get, which sucks because I might have to get new ones now. Oh, my cat's down here. What are you up to, Gary? The seat's getting hot. Sitting on the thumb. So I think I'm gonna have to get new ones because I think that's tuned to low E. Probably play Indigata to beat it on it if we had to. And this isn't even tight on the nut, so I'll throw the other caliper on, and that way I could put up my brake grease, and then we'll see about going to see what O'Reilly's has. And I'll compare them, make sure they're long enough this time. I'll go ahead. I don't want to take that back. Well, I have 2 of them that are the same length, so they're both Dorman. I don't mind Dorman. Don't usually have issues with it, but this is not going to be good driving down the road and having the hose like this, because this is just asking for trouble. Hopefully you guys can see that. Yep, I'm recording. So yeah, that is That's too tight. That is too tight. So let me turn the wheel back and I'll go to the other side. Just a sneak peek of my helpers. They're kind of not helping right now. Okay, so this one has gotten a little bit of water damage on it. This side is also slightly dirtier, so I'm just going to put out this nice clean rag for it. These pins are really greasy. Oh, no, I just put the rag down so I wouldn't drop them, but oh well. Things happen. So if this is your first time working on a classic video, and you're watching this video to kind of see what all it might take, you just gotta take it in stride, my friend. Take it in stride. Weird things like this happen. I don't blame Dorman. Why would they make hoses that are quarter-inch different? You know, it could be this vehicle. Maybe this side fits really good and the other side doesn't. This is what I'm using. There's the same exact one. Not two, because they're the same for the fronts. There's my clips. I am using this brake caliper. It's a Reman. Hopefully I am recording. Yep. So that kind of gives you an idea what's going on. And again, here is the brand of Duralast brake pads that I am using. I don't know if anybody finds that information important or not, but I gave it to you there. So, put this together. I don't deal with disc brakes a lot. I mean, that's kind of a lie. I don't do a lot of brakes. I don't drive a ton. So, I got that going for me. All brake systems are kind of a little different. They're how the pads are attached, but they're all pretty much the same, I guess you could say. So let's start with the rear. Put a little bit of juice on these. Again, the reason this stuff's kind of rusty is because it's sat on the floorboard of the car, and the seals aren't the best. I mean, it's a 75, so it takes what? I ain't gonna do the math. My mathematical skills and abilities are kind of slim at the moment, although I've had a Dr. Pepper this afternoon. They're not tip-top shape at the moment. Kind of sweltering in the primordial sun. I guess that's not the correct term for the sun, but a little bit on the back here. Yeah. Oh, some idiot just stuck their hand in all the grease. It's smarter to do the two than the one. Right. That sits there and wait. Another paper towel. Wipe my hands off. Talking real quiet. Let's start talking real quiet for you guys. That way no one knows what I'm talking about. Alright, so put a little on this, put a little up here, put a little down here, put a little here. Probably could just put it on the caliper. Boy, that's some nice stainless. And then it would be okay. But this is how I'm doing it today. Every day is a different day, new day to explore. Alright, there's already grease on these caliper pins. So I won't put those on yet, but I'm going to make sure my hands are clean, and we'll flip the camera. Alright, I got 13% of battery, so I need to hurry. Not really. So force that down. Force this out. And slip it on. Oh no. The pins fail out. Okay. Oh brother. Gotta push those pins out. Is it the caliper, or is it just this brake is not playing? The brake is not playing nice right now. There. Everything went in. Now it's the pin. It's one fight after another. All right. made sure that what is going on with this side? This started. I don't like to do it like this, but we're going to. Kind of held up there for now. Everything's greasy, so I'm going to use the tool. Get started. Put the bottom pin in. There we go. Okay, hopefully you guys saw that. I may do some editing on that one. Someone likes to see that. That is me. Sure what you can see now. I'm getting grease all over my camera. It is a bummer. There we go. This is more I got to clean today. At least we'll have the calipers on. Kind of wanted to do it all, but there's only so much you can do, you know? Let me go work on something else for a little bit. Okay, all right, those are on. Now let's see if this, I'm almost positive this one feels like it, no, it's not gonna have enough slack. All right, so I'm gonna go on the search and see what I can find for hoses. We're kind of done with this portion for now until we can find some new hoses, and then we can put it together. I'll keep these hoses for something else, who knows. Maybe I'll make a go-kart with GM products on it. So, indeed, here we are. Right. Fresh brakes. This thing's gonna stop on a dime. All right, so here we are. So I got the old one that I was gonna use on the other side, this part number, which is supposed to be 14 inches. So I pulled it out, just kind of looked at it, and I realized it's 0117. I believe this was made in 2017. So I bought two boxes of, I don't even remember the brand, the DFC. Same thing, but here's what I got. I got one cable that is the same brand as this. How do I know? Well, so this is labeled Car Flex on it, and so is this one. This, oh, I pulled out the wrong side. This one is labeled Car Flex as well. This one was made in October of 20. So, because I was checking it, I wanted to make sure the cable was longer. So I'm probably going to return this one. I can't return that Dorman because I bought it over a year ago. So I'll return this one to Rock Auto. And then I looked at this one and I was just looking at it and I realized this one is a completely different cable. This one is a, I think it's set on it somewhere. This is a, this has not been opened. So I'll open it. I believe this is the Sung Song, which is another brand I could have got, which is supposed to be 14 inches as well. You could tell it's slightly different, not much, and it is just barely longer, not much, not gonna matter. So I will probably return these as well, because at this point it won't really matter what I use. I've got to dig deeper. I thought this cable was going to be just slightly longer, but I'm getting screwed over by whoever's manufacturing these in China. So I thought if these aren't going to work, I'm just going to return both of them, to be honest. They also didn't give me any Rock Auto stickers, so that in itself is a huge bummer. These boxes are a little smashed. So not super happy about that. We may just have to run it and pray, or I'm going to have to do some deep diving on trying to figure out how... Boy, this is like the worst box ever. There we go. There we go. Finally got it closed. So we're going to figure out how to make this work, because they are tight. And I don't really have much options to make it not tight. Guess we'll just have to run with it, you know. It's not ideal at all, but just kind of unfortunately what we got going on at the moment. Maybe that's why they put this hose on here, as a little extra support. So I'll just put this Dorman on the other side, I guess. I guess this side's pretty much done, so we'll just we'll just have to do the other side, because I can't get any other cables or brake lines for it. So away we go. This is kind of the bummer part of working on old cars. And about you know, like a month or two, I'll be doing some research and find out. I think this is supposed to be a bag, but the washers don't fit in it. I'll be doing some research and find out I could have just gotten one from like a something weird like a 67 Torino, and it would have fit perfect. That's what everybody's been using. Okay, this is not good either, because these are not clocked correctly. These are clocked opposite of what they're supposed to be. That is not good either, because that's gonna make it impossible to put on. Oh my gosh. Aftermarket parts, I tell you what. I tell you what. Now, let's figure out how this side down here goes. I don't think this side's gonna work either. I need to go tighten that other side up now that I remember it. I think I'm gonna have to look into some different cables, just in general, for this. Super tight. I'm gonna have to do some more research this weekend and figure out what I need to run to make this work. All right, so here we are back at it. I did a little research, and we're supposed to get an hour. Within the hour, we're supposed to get a bunch of rain. So inlinetubes.com, I believe it is, the place I got the tube for the fuel line, has braided and rubber hoses, and they're fairly reasonable. $14 for the rubber, $28-ish I think it was for the braided. So instead of doing that, I thought I'll just try to use what I have. So looking at this here, you can see the small ones on the left and the big ones on the right, which is great. So the other side worked good. This one, I went and I filed the big lug down, because if you look at it and remember how that one looked, hopefully I'll put up a picture of that, screenshot or something, it fits in great this way, but we have to go in this way, which means the big one has to be on the left. Didn't work out that way. Did not work out that way. Well, actually, it needs to have the little one on the left and the big one on the right, but the big one needs to be up at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and put the hose on here. So that did not, I just filed it down and it fits. I have to go get a clip out of the truck, or out of the truck. We'll just keep calling it a truck because that's what it is. It's a car truck. Make sure you put your washers on. This is just kind of part of old vehicles, just trying to figure out what will work. I recently found out a good headlight replacement, which will become another video on. I don't know what I'll put them on. I accidentally bought too many, but that's okay. Oh brother, this is not good. This one is already too short. That is probably going to rip off if I turn it. Well, there's only one thing to try. There's only one thing to do, and that's to put it together. I really think this thing needs a longer hose. I may have to contact that tube company and see how long their cables are, or their brake lines are, because I don't know if this is actually going to work the way we hope. Ideally, I would have started that first. So let's do that. I'll take this back apart down here. Start it on that brake line, put it on down here, and then hopefully have enough wherewithal to get it to. I'm gonna take this off. I'm trying to get this done before it rains, like I said. So already got it started. Started there. I can always grab it with a wrench before I tighten it. And again, I need to go to the other side and put that all together. Socket. Is it a 3/8? Here, up to 7/16. It is a 7/16. I don't have a ratchet. I'll go get this one. We'll see if my big one fits. I've been using the other ratchet on the Volkswagen. Let me get the clip for this. Put that in. had them in my little toolbox setup. Okay, now to this. Slip down. That's my finger. Yeah, I lost the little tab. I don't know where it's at. So let's loosen it. Okay, I found it. There. Now let's put this clip in. Clip this in. So we can't let it pop out. Up again. Okay, that is snug. This is snug. I'll just make sure this protector's on it a little bit better. I'm going to turn the wheel. I don't have the keys, so we can't do that. Alright, I'll go get the keys and we will see if we can turn the wheel. Well, like the other side, it's tight. It's not ideal. But at the moment, this is all we have. So I think it's what we're going to run, to be honest. Just to kind of get this project moving. May have to look into this to figure out something a little different later on, but for now I kind of need to get it going because I've been trying to wrap up the brakes before I go to the transmission filter. I'm going to go ahead and grease everything while I'm up here, and hopefully we won't get rained on. I'm going to talk during this part. I'm just going to grease. Alright, so I got the whole front end greased. Had a hard time getting this one. This one was the only trouble one. So we got that. The rubber on them's pretty old, so we'll see how that works out. I already saw that the other brake line was weeping around the... This one isn't. It was weeping around the banjo nut, so I'm going to have to tighten that up. Get that to squish and seal. Hopefully it's not because the hose is yanking on it, but I'll go tighten that up real quick and then spray it down with the brake clean and we'll come look at it later. Well, what a week. I was hoping to work on this a lot sooner, but a lot of things came up. I got sick, so that didn't help. Volkswagen troubles, that's kind of been stalling me. So get you caught up to what I went ahead did. Went ahead and put the brake cables on, the longer ones. Had to modify them up here, turned them down in a lathe on the top side because they were a different style. Not worried about it, they fit in. Then I went ahead and washed everything out, the conifer needles, so I can work on the transmission pan, because that's kind of the one last thing that's holding me up. I'll look at the rear brake line. I don't think I'm going to do it. And then I went ahead and gravity bled the front brakes. The brake pedal feels hard, so either the master cylinder is no good or the brakes are good. I don't think they are, because it didn't really put any pressure on it, so I'm worried I'm gonna have to get a new master cylinder. But I can do that when it's on the ground, and if we're gonna go as far as master cylinder, I'll just go ahead and do the rear. I'll jack up the rear and do that. But I would kind of want to try to get this going and running and moving so I don't have to use the tractor. Plus, it'd be kind of nice to park here a little bit, or instead of working on other stuff out in the driveway, I can work on it up here. But let's go ahead and get started on the transmission pan. I gotta get my tools and we'll take a look at that. So transmission's been leaking pretty heavy down here. I can see it's coming out of, looks like it's coming out of the speedo cable housing. You could just see it's coated it all down here. And that torque converter cover is not on either. I went ahead and got a, should be for a turbo 350, a filter. So when we tried moving it, it gave us some grief about not actually wanting to, I think I had first and reverse, but I couldn't get into second. So that was a little bit of an issue. So that's really the reason I kind of wanted to look this over and just put a new one in, just in case. It's not going to hurt. I'll probably put some Lucas in it. I also got the media mod for this GoPro. I had to get my GoPro 8, I think I got. And I also have a, I'm going to tap the back. I had a complaint one time. Oh, this light does diddly squat. It's already too bright out here. But I bought, I did buy a light for it. You can kind of see here. It's not going to help. We're a little too far away, I think. Yep. So I'll just turn it off. Thought it might help, but it's already bright enough down here due to the bright sun. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this pan, and I'm not really going to talk about what I'm doing, because I assume most people know what we're doing. And I'm going to get reset up here. All right, coming back at it. The battery died already, so that was a little frustrating, and I needed some place to get for my bolts. So before I quit talking, boy, this thing's already leaking. Before I quit talking here and run music, I'm going to leave the front in and kind of let it drop in the rear slowly, but I don't know if we're going to get that far because it always seems like it's wanting to leak out. Okay, let me go to the other side. Fudge. So I realized why it's leaking back here, and that's because the pan is actually rubbing up against the transmission motor, the transmission mount. Makes sense to why it would leak to that spot and then drain down it. I still think this cable is leaking as well, as it is wet up it, but I could try snugging that up or just getting a seal. I'll probably just get a seal. I think I may even have a bullet seal for that. I went through
trouble of that for a while with on the 66. I finally got it sealed up with the turbo. It's not a turbo 350. It's a Saginaw 3-speed. So I guess what I'll do now is just make a huge freaking mess. Do not get that other one loose. Hopefully this side is not wedged up. Got one that's, there we go, broke it loose. Never fails whenever your hands are wet or oily, that's when you start getting itchy. I didn't realize there was a 3-inch exhaust on this camino. And my bolt. I got one bolt in the pan. I got one bolt in the oil pan. Alright, what is going on with this? Go. And I'll just lower it down. Oop. Got it most in there. Alright, now I'm just gonna let this kind of chill. It smells a little cooked. You can kind of see it's a little brown. So I got some fresh stuff for it. So we'll put that in there. And we'll I may spray this out with some brake clean. But right now I'm gonna let it kind of dribble out. Basically, we're just trying to see if we can revive it. I need to use it until I get a truck. So until then, we need to make sure it lasts. I'll probably put it up for sale at some point. Or trade. Maybe I'll trade it for a like a 1983 Corvette. That's the one I need, right? The Goodyear. Alright, anyways, I'm gonna stop the camera and let this all situate itself. Alright, so I took one of my gloves off, threw another pan under there for the time being. I thought I heard something metallic when I was taking this pan off, but there are two, looks like 5/16 screws in here. There's some goop. There's some material in here. It's fine. It's the original trans as far as I know. I'm going to dig around and try to find the bolt I lost. I don't know where I lost it at. It's obviously not on this side. That's not my luck. There it is. There's nothing else in there. Alright. So I'm going to go get washed up and clean this pan up, and we'll come back. I hate working on transmissions. I always get ATF in my hair. Alright, so what I've deduced is the two bolts that are missing came out from underneath the shifting linkage here. How they got out and how they worked their way into the oil pan, I am not sure. I think the only way to solve the transmission leak is to put a new... The only way to solve the transmission leak is to put a new transmission bushing here. So we have that going for us. I'm probably not going to do that at the moment. I kind of want to just make sure it runs and drives again and then deal with that. It could also be because we are lifted up in the front and everything is now shifted towards the back. The weight of everything has slid a little bit back because we are angled up at the front. I have no idea how that bolts worked out because I have a hard time getting them back in. So maybe I'll rotate the prindle and see if I can get that back in. No, I won't, because it'll the whole cord to rotate a bit. So I'll see if I can just, I don't know if I can get the bolt up and into there. Again, I don't know how that came out, because that is part of the bracket. Jiminy Christmas, what a day. Even if I take that out, I can't get this off. I don't know how that's, I'll have to go to the other side to look how this is secured. But I'm about ready just to put a new filter on and put the pan back on and see if we can get it going again. So, I didn't really want to use RTV on this gasket, but I've been trying to use a really thin bit, but it is barely taming this. I just want it to stay long enough that I can put it up there. I got a filter on, a new filter, so I'm just going to slap this on real quick, and hopefully it goes well. So I went ahead and zipped up the pan. Go up to the front here and take a look. So I was planning to go ahead and drop it down, put the wheels on today, and then deal with the battery cables and the fuel line tomorrow, just to see if we get it started tomorrow. But, if it seems like I'm rushing, I am a little bit. So, I'd planned for the whole month of June just to work on this. And I have. We've gotten a lot of rain, which isn't really much of an excuse, but it is outside, and waiting on parts. You know, the brake cable situation, or the brake hose situation kind of put me back, as well as the brake caliper. That all put me back a bit. I was really hoping to have it kind of scooting along and have it done by now. I'm 3 days away from July, so I'm hoping I don't have any major hiccups, but it's an old car, so don't know what else to expect at this point. So I'll probably leave it up in the air so I could do the positive cable, because it'll be easier to get to the starter from in the air as it sits. The negative cable already sits right here, and then I probably ought to do the fuel line, which it'll be, I mean, it won't really matter because it's up front. There's not a lot in the way. Back there's a tire and control arms, so I may do the fuel line later. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do about that, because it's got that weird filter on it. It's not something's been changed at some point, which it's a 75, so 5 years would be 80, 90, 100, and then we're 20, so we're what, like 45 years, 46 years, something like that. Maybe 50 years, I don't know. My math skills aren't great, which isn't good for a machinist, but I'm just gonna put that out there. My math skills aren't that great, especially on the fly. Pencil and paper, I can do that. Not a lot of people can do that nowadays, but I can. Some math I can do in my head, and some math I can't. And it kind of depends on the day. It's 96, and I've been out here for a little while in a black shirt. So, enough of me. Enough complaining. So yes, that's all. I'm going to leave it up for tonight. Hopefully tomorrow I can get around to battery cables. We'll do the fuel line. Hopefully we get it started. Hopefully nothing catches fire. That would be swell. I have a hose over here, so I do have a fire extinguisher in the car. I bought it because I was planning on using it, taking it with me as I drive this. I thought about an adventure with this, but I haven't quite figured out what to do as an adventure. I don't know that my wife would want to go with me. It's had some mice problems, as you can see. The mouse poops, turds, droppings. And this video is getting super long. I think last I looked at it, it was close to the 2-hour mark before editing. So I've been debating breaking it up, because who wants to watch a 2-hour video of just brake lines? Maybe. And I have a hard time shortening it because I'm trying to give a little bit of information and make it worthwhile learning. So I don't want to end the video without it firing up. I really want to do a burnout with it, whether it be a dirt road burnout, and it'll probably just be a dirt road burnout. But that's kind of where I'm at this moment. So tomorrow I'll come back and we'll take care of this. But for tonight, I'm going to go shower and get the ATF out of my hair, because that's why I keep my hair short, because I inevitably get oil in my hair. All right, so I slowed down again. Went ahead and installed the negative cable, cleaned it up here. It's a nice, beautiful standard one. I'm going from top post to side post because I believe 75 is the year for that. I went ahead and remade this cable, this short one, because I saw it'd gotten a little hot at some point, and then the ends are kind of pulled back. I don't have any really nice crimped ends. I might be able to save that, but it'd probably take me longer than just putting one of those cheap ones on. So that's what I did. Now the next problem I had was this is threaded in the fender and it was stripped out. So I went ahead and put a whiz nut on the back side, so if you're the next buyer, good luck with that. I mean, it'll come off, just there's a nut on the back side. Kind of tried cleaning up some of the wires, trying to figure out what's going on in here. I bought the wrong positive cable, so I'm gonna have to track down a positive cable. I don't think I have any. So there's that. In my messing about, I noticed that the main power wire to the starter actually has a fuse in it, which tells me that the fusible link burnt up at one point in time. How do I know that? Well, that happened to me on my 78 Nova, and I'll tell you what happened. So I went ahead and took the battery cable off just so I could measure the length. 45, 46 inches is what I'm looking for. But the first thing I noticed was on the fusible link down here, the sheathing is pulled back on the wire. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to clean it up the best I can and put some liquid electric tape on it, and that's what we're going to have to do. But I'm guessing that probably shorted out on this tube, the protector tube that protects it from the heat of the exhaust, and that's why it ended up needing that fusible link. What happened to me was the wires got pinched between the starter and the bell housing at some point in time and kinked one of the wires, and eventually it caused it to short out on my Nova. On this El Camino, I'm just hypotheticaling on that, but that's my guess. It didn't blow that fuse there because it's on this side of it, and the power would be going from that way to this way. So if it shorts out before it, it's not going to pop it. Got the new cable in today. I spray painted this. It is still sticky. I don't know how well that's going to work. I'm going to go ahead and bend this end over here to somewhat match that, and then I'll probably wrap it with some tape in this area where the bolt isn't sitting. It should be okay because the bolt isn't what's conducting the electricity. It'll be through the cable to that one side. And then I'll probably wrap some red up here. I bought a negative cable, but it's the right length. I like this style. It holds this in, unlike the cheaper ones where this can just fall out. Actually, the only thing holding it in is this rubber sleeve. So let me go take care of this. All right, low battery and no light. Got the starter wire situated up here. There, and then I also got that all glued up. Looks like we should be okay down here. So I went ahead and ran a die over that thread to 7/16 20. It looks okay. I don't know if that one's gonna work, but we have 4 more, so not a big deal. Now that's a sight. We're back down on the ground. For now, at least. With old vehicles, you know, it's always 1 step forward and 2 steps back. But that's how it goes. That's the way of the life of the old vehicle. Got the wheels back on. So, I'll track down a battery, and probably tomorrow evening I will try to mess with it some more. Alright, so here we are. My goal for this morning, and I apologize for the coughing and the nose blowing. I think I got a sinus infection, or my sinuses are a little messed up from that cold I had. But I need to see if I can get it started. We get it running, great. I need to start in on putting some Lucas into the transmission. You can't do that when it's cold. I mean, you can, but it'll clog the filter up. And I need to see if the brakes will actually pump up for me. we're a little low on this radiator. It's got a nice big 4-core. So yes, oh, I was gonna grab my little 5/16 wrench for this. So we need to just kind of see if we get it running, and once it's running, let it warm up a little bit, and start in on that transmission. And also I need to see if the brakes will hold. That's kind of the next thing, whether that master cylinder has bit the dirt or not. So let me go get my little wrench, and then we will hook the battery up and see what happens. At some point I'm going to have to give this engine bay another bath. There's a lot of mouse turds everywhere. So hook this up. I don't like using the wrench to start it, but that was a poor idea on my part to spray paint the stupid rubber. Okay, that's snug. Let's see if we can get this. Okay, put that up here. Let's see if it'll crank over, and we might have to give it a little fuel. I should probably take that air cleaner off just so I can see what's going on. If I gotta give it a little squirt of gas, we can do that at that time. And I could also see if that fuel line's leaking, and we could try to fix that. Whether it just need to be snugged up or what. Ooh, that's a mess here. Alright. Set this off to the side so we don't lose it. Alright, we're recording. Let's hope this doesn't catch on fire. Nothing. Okay. That's a little frustrating. Let's get a voltmeter. All right, so we got the voltmeter. Let's see, let's make sure we got 12.5, so it ought to crank. Let's start checking. How's our grounds? Good there. That is open though. Oh, that's good. That's open. Might have a bad ground.
might just have a bad ground. It doesn't, I guess, shouldn't say it doesn't seem like that. Just, got a good ground. I'm worried that mice have chewed up some wires that I need here. So I think I'm going to end the video here because it's going to take me a while to diagnose this now. I got to clean everything again and try to get the pack rat nest out and see if we can track down what is going on with the El Camino. So sorry we didn't really get as far as I wanted to, but thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more because we're going to have to do some more.